Global TV News Prime, Fan Chairman Ganduje commissions new UN humanitarian air hub in Maiduguri. In business, Central Bank of Nigeria orders banks to freeze terrorism financing suspects' accounts. And on the foreign scene, Zimbabwean Senate approves bill to extend presidential term. In sport, a National Sports Commission targets 16 gold medals at Commonwealth Games. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world. The News Prime on Global Television coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times 276, then free to air, free TV. The chairman of the board of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has described the newly commissioned United Nations Humanitarian Aid Service Facility as a gateway of hope for crisis-affected communities and a major boost to humanitarian operations in Nigeria's northeast. Dr. Ganduje stated this while commissioning the UN Humanitarian Air Service Terminal building, flight planning and cargo building, as well as the integrated office complex for humanitarian services at the General Muhammadu Buhari International Airport, Maiduguri, Borno State. Kikelomo Okere has details.
For years, humanitarian workers delivering food, medicine and emergency relief to remote communities in Nigeria's northeast have battled difficult terrain, damaged infrastructure and security challenges that often swallowed life-saving interventions. Today, a new chapter opened in Maiduguri as government and development partners unveil a modern humanitarian air hub designed to bridge the gap and bring help closer to those who need it most. Unveiling the project in Maiduguri, the chairman of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, says the project will strengthen safe, efficient and reliable air operations for humanitarian workers and relief agencies operating in difficult terrain.
The establishment of this facility by the United Nations Humanitarian Air Service, operated by the World Food Programme, is a significant intervention that will enhance the delivery of humanitarian assistance through safe, efficient, and reliable air services.
Speaking at the event, the World Food Programme representative and country director in Nigeria, Catherine Goss, described the facility as a strategic investment in both humanitarian operations and aviation infrastructure. She noted that improved air connectivity will enhance emergency response efforts and provide faster access to isolated communities affected by conflict and displacement.
This is not about infrastructure. This is about people. Those people who are in the hardest to reach areas and whose survival depends on our ability to reach them.
Managing Director, Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, Olubunmi Kuku, described the project as a proof that collaboration between government and international partners can deliver tangible results for communities facing hardship. She described the facility as more than an aviation project, saying it is built to deliver hope, relief and livelihood opportunity to vulnerable populations.
It is a facility built not just with bricks and mortar, but with the shared vision of delivering hope, relief, and livelihood opportunities to the vulnerable populations across this region.
The high point of the event was the launch of critical humanitarian infrastructure. The facility includes a flight planning center, cargo handling terminals, and operational offices to support humanitarian air operations across the northeast. The new humanitarian air hub is expected to serve as a critical logistic and coordination center for humanitarian agencies operating across the northeast, reinforcing ongoing efforts to restore stability, support recovery, and improve the lives of millions affected by years of insurgency. Kike Lomo Ukeri, Global TV News.
President Bola Tinubu has expressed administration to provide infrastructure development and security to all communities in satellite towns across the Federal Capital Territory. The president stated this during the inauguration of Phase 1 of the newly constructed Kuje-Gwagwalada Dual Carriageway. Kabir Hassan reports.
The president, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, says the federal government is committed to ensuring that development reaches every part of the Federal Capital Territory. The newly completed 7-kilometer Kuje-Gwagwalada Dual Carriageway is designed to improve connectivity, boost economic activities, and enhance security in the area. He noted that for years, residents, farmers, and traders along the corridor face challenges from poor road conditions to security concern, limiting movement and economic growth.
For decades, this road was a death trap. This 7-kilometer dual carriageway is more than a road. It is security. It is commerce. It is dignity. It is the economic corridor linking Abuja to 3 area councils and opening an exit route to southern Nigeria. This is a renewed hope delivered to the doorsteps of our people in the satellite towns. We will keep bringing roads, water, schools, and hospitals to you.
The president explained that the road, fitted with solar-powered streetlights, pedestrian walkways, and drainage systems, will make movement safer while opening up opportunities for businesses and agricultural activities. The minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, said the project was initiated following requests made by the community leaders during FCT consultations, adding that the second phase of the road will be completed before the end of the year.
Most of the roads are not motorable. Even when crimes occur, it will be difficult for security agencies to move around and try to intercept or try to arrest those who have committed such crimes. Criminals use that road to cause havoc. The promise this administration made to fulfill that which in August we told the stakeholders that government will finish that road. I'm happy the people of Kuje have seen that this is a government that makes promise and will fulfill that promise.
The minister noted that the road will strengthen connectivity between Kuje and Gwagwalada while supporting economic growth and improving security across surrounding communities. Kabir Hassan, Global TV News.
The Kebbi State Police Command has stepped up surveillance and intelligence operations following reports of the re-emergence of a suspected criminal group in parts of the state called Semalam. The Commissioner of Police Umar Hadeja made this known to Global Television in an exclusive interview. Aniete Patrick reports.
The Kebbi State Police Command has assured residents that security agencies are on alert to prevent any suspected criminal network from gaining ground in the state. The Commissioner of Police, Umar Hadeja, says the group, reportedly operating in parts of Zuru local government area, had earlier been dismantled following a joint operation involving the police, military, and the Department of State Services. According to him, 14 suspects were arrested and charged to court over alleged cybercrime and cult-related offenses. He explained that the group allegedly lured unsuspecting residents with promises of multiplying money using deceptive spiritual claims and fraudulent schemes to obtain cash from victims.
We have informed our operative surveillance team and also the DSS to make sure that we profile this group, and immediately we do so, we are going to get them arrested, investigated, and discharged to court. So this is what actually is happening, but we are doing our best to make sure that we crack down on this group that is emerging before they form our alliance with the Lakurawa or the Mahmudawa terrorist organization and all these bandits and the kidnappers that we are having from time to time.
The police commissioner said investigations have so far found no evidence that the group is operating as a terrorist organization, stressing that members were not arrested with weapons during the earlier operation. CP Hadeja, however, revealed that the command is taking fresh reports of the group's activities seriously, especially given Kebbi's borders with neighboring states and the republics of Niger and Benin. The command has also launched a violent crime response unit supported by patrol vehicles, armored personnel carriers, and motorcycles to improve response to distress calls across the state. He urged residents to support security agencies with timely information while assuring that intelligence from the public will be treated confidentially. Anieti Patrick, Global TV News.
Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has urged residents of the state to continue supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president has demonstrated commitment to the development of Kano State and the country. The governor made the appeal while presenting the certificate of return to the newly elected member representing Dawakin Kudu, Warawa Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives. Shaibu Rabiu Nagogo Global Television's Idris reports.
It was a moment of celebration as Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf presented the certificate of return to Honorable Shaibu Rabiu Nagogo following his victory at the polls. Congratulating the lawmaker-elect, the governor expressed confidence that he would provide effective representation for the people of Dawakin Kudu and Warawa Federal Constituency. Governor Yusuf also said the cordial relationship between the Kano state government and the federal government has continued to bring developments to the state, adding that the partnership should be sustained for the benefit of the people.
We therefore have to join hands together. We must be able to work together. We must be able to mobilize millions of voters for the election of the president, for the election of all the National Assembly members, and for the election of your governor and your State House of Assembly.
The governor praised President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for supporting key infrastructure and development projects in Kano. He described the president as a leader committed to national unity and development, and called on political leaders, stakeholders, as well as supporters across the state to remain united in strengthening the relationship between Kano State and the federal government.
So we must beat our chest to say we are proud of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And we must come out openly to campaign for him. Anything short of this, God forbid Allah, that will be a problem. There is no shame. He's a devoted Muslim. Now, do you choose between your own brother, a Muslim, and somebody who is against the interest of the North?
Governor Yusuf also reacted to recent comments by former Deputy Governor Aminu Abdulsalam Gorzo. He said the former Deputy Governor had failed to make meaningful contributions to the state's development, accusing him instead of engaging in baseless criticism rather than offering constructive ideas. As the 2027 general elections draw closer, Governor Yusuf reaffirmed his administration's commitment to working closely with the federal government to implement policies and programs that will improve the lives of the people. Idris Jibrin, Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime. News Prime continues after this weather forecast plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Hello and welcome to the weather forecast. The atmosphere has been quite active weather-wise across most parts of the country, with widespread thunderstorms, intermittent rains and significant rainfall recorded in several locations. Now let's take a look at what Friday has in store for us. Our weather models continue to indicate sufficient moisture influx into the country, creating favorable conditions for thunderstorm development. And so during the morning hours, residents in the northeast, talking about parts of Adamawa, Taraba, Bauchi, Gombe, Kaduna, the north central, are expected to experience thunderstorms with intermittent rains. To the southern parts of the country, keep your umbrellas handy as intermittent rainfall is expected through much of the day. Going into the afternoon and evening hours, widespread thunderstorms are more likely as the south and the north central remain quite active with thunderstorms and rains. The weather system is expected to extend further into the northern region to cover more parts for thunderstorm activities. Now, if you're headed out on Friday or making plans for the weekend, it's important to take necessary precaution. Want to know how cool it will get in your area? Stay with us for the temperature forecast coming up next. I am Theodora Itzum. Thank you for watching.
Welcome back from that break. Now let's take you to the world of business. Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu has called on international investors to channel more funds into Nigeria's green economy as the country offers immediate investment opportunities across clean energy, agriculture, transport and climate resilience infrastructure. He made the call at the Nigerian Climate Investment Summit in London. National Assembly correspondent Aniete Patrick reports.
Nigeria is positioning its green transition as a major investment destination. At the Nigeria Climate Investment Summit in London, Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu informed global investors that the country is ready to convert climate policies into bankable projects capable of creating jobs, improving energy access, and strengthening communities against the effects of climate change. Kalu identified distributed renewable energy, solar mini-grids, battery storage, clean cooking, electricity transmission and industrial energy efficiency as priority areas for investment. He also listed climate-smart agriculture, irrigation, cold chain logistics, food processing and resilient rural infrastructure as sectors that can boost food security and raise incomes for millions of Nigerians.
Trillion naira. Furthermore, the unification of foreign exchange market has reduced trade arbitrage, increased foreign exchange liquidity, and boosted international investor confidence. According to the Federal Ministry of Finance, these fiscal adjustments have contributed to a stable macroeconomic environment characterized by the GDP growth rate of over 4% in Q4 of 2025.
The Deputy Speaker further highlighted electric mobility, mass transit, low-carbon transport, waste-to-value projects, methane reduction, circular economy enterprises, and green manufacturing. On adoption, Kalu said Nigeria needs investments in flood control systems, resilient drainage, coastal protection, nature-based solutions, and climate-resilient housing. He stressed that climate finance must support both emissions reduction and human resilience as communities continue to face flooding, land degradation, food insecurity, and displacement.
Nigeria's green transition must be a just transition. It must expand access to affordable energy, create decent work, support communities, equip young people with new skills, promote women's participation in green economy, and ensure that no region social growth is left behind.
Kalu also assured investors of stronger legal protection, citing the Climate Change Act and the Electricity Act as key frameworks, driving private sector participation and decentralized power solutions. He proposed a Nigeria-London Green Finance Partnership to develop investor-ready projects and mobilize blended finance, guarantees, and local currency funding for green infrastructure. Aniete Patrick, Global TV News.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has directed banks and other financial institutions to immediately freeze the account and assets of individuals and companies designated for terrorism and terrorism financing. following fresh sanction issued by Nigerian and United States authority. The directive was contained in a circular issued by the Apex Bank Compliance Department and addressed to all banks, payment services, banks and other financial institutions regulated under the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020. The circular stated that the action follows recent sanctions designation by the Nigerian Sanctions Committee and the United States Department of Treasury Office of Foreign Assets Control under Executive Order 13224 as amended on terrorism and terrorism financing. And on the foreign scene, Zimbabwe's Senate has approved controversial constitutional amendment that could allow President Emmerson Mnangagwa to remain in office until 2030, completing the bill's passage through Parliament. The amendments backed by the ruling ZANU-PF party include extending presidential and parliamentary terms from 5 to 7 years. The bill had earlier secured approval in the National Assembly and now awaits final legislative procedure before being signed into law. Director General of the World Health Organization Tedros Ghebreyesus says there is no cause for panic over fears of a global Ebola outbreak despite the confirmation of a case outside Africa. The WHO chief says fewer than 30 Ebola cases have been recorded outside the African continent in the last 50 years. Uyi Agbomofuegbe reports.
France on Wednesday announced its first confirmed case of Ebola identified on its territory. A doctor who had flown back from the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is fighting a major outbreak. The doctor had been working with the Alliance for International Medical Action. The case is the first of the deadly hemorrhagic fever identified outside the African continent during the current outbreak, which has also affected Uganda. The WHO chief, however, warned against what he called overreaction to the case.
WHO and our partners are working closely with the communities to inform and involve them in the trial. We're also working to ensure the communities have access to the therapeutics should they prove safe and efficacious. The trial will be conducted by a consortium of partners, including DRC's National Institute for Biomedical Research, ALIMA, Oxford University, and WHO.
He underlined that the case serves as a reminder of the risks faced by frontline responders, noting that almost 80 health workers have been infected and highlighted the risks they face, as well as the importance of strengthening infection prevention and control. French Health Ministry says the patient boarded a commercial flight from Kinshasa and was almost asymptomatic, except for headaches. His condition was said to have slightly deteriorated during the flight, even before the disease was officially identified. In the meantime, the World Health Organization has advised countries to support the safe deployment of personnel responding to the outbreak. The DRC's 17th Ebola outbreak was declared on May 15 after several unexplained deaths in the mineral-rich but volatile eastern Ituri province plagued by armed groups. Latest official figures show that more than 1,000 cases have been recorded, including 267 deaths, representing a fatality rate of around 25%. WHO assesses the public health risk level as very high for the DRC, high for Uganda and other countries bordering DRC, and low for the rest of the world. Uyi Agbomofuegbe, Global TV News.
And now in sport, the National Sports Commission has stepped up preparations for the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland. Targeting a record medal haul, Director General of the Commission, Bukola Olapade, says Team Nigeria will depart for a pre-game training camp in Aberdeen next month ahead of the competition. Sports correspondent Aniete Patrick reports.
Less than a month to the opening of the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, the National Sports Commission says Team Nigeria is fully focused on delivering its strongest ever performance at the global sporting event. Director General of the Commission, Bukola Olokpade, says extensive preparations have been made to ensure athletes compete in the best possible condition. According to him, the Commission has put arrangements in place covering athletes' welfare, competition apparel, training programs, and other pre-games logistics.
Your directive to prepare the team very well is going on there aggressively. Apparels, everything ready, equipment, everything good to go. The camp in Abuja is buzzing. Tomorrow the athletics team will be joining.
Olokpade says the Commission is also working to use the Glasgow Games as a benchmark for Nigeria's future participation in international multi-sports competitions, particularly in podium performance and athletes' welfare. He says athletes currently in camp in Abuja are in high spirits, while track and field competitors are expected to join the contingent following the conclusion of trials organized by the Athletics Federation of Nigeria in Lagos.
By tomorrow, over 140 athletes and officials will be in the camp. We await the information from the presidency as to when the team will be received and sent forth.
Nigeria is targeting 16 gold medals in Glasgow, a feat that would surpass the country's current best Commonwealth Games record of 12 gold medals achieved at the 2022 Games in Birmingham. The Nigerian contingent is expected to leave for Aberdeen on July 2nd for a final training camp ahead of the opening ceremony in Glasgow on July 23rd. Anietie Patrick, Global TV News.
To end News Prime, here's a recap of our top stories. The chairman of the board of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has described the newly commissioned United Nations Humanitarian Air Service Facility as a gateway of hope for crisis-affected communities and a major boost to humanitarian operations in Nigeria's northeast. And in business, we told you that the Central Bank of Nigeria has directed banks and other financial institutions to immediately freeze the account and assets of individuals and companies designated for terrorism and terrorism financing following fresh sanction issued by Nigeria and United States authorities. And on the foreign scene, we told you that Zimbabwe's Senate has approved controversial constitutional amendments that could allow President Emmerson Mnangagwa to remain in office until 2030, completing the bill's passage through Parliament. Finally, from the water sport, the National Sports Commission has stepped up preparation for the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland, targeting a record medal haul. And that's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276 and Free TV. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using at Global TV NG. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Thanks for watching.